Gentlemen,
Adam,
we're back.
we're always back.
Happy Pokemon Weekend Day.
Yeah,
Wait, that
Legends
doesn't make sense. But happy Pokemon Weekend launch.
Happy Legends Arceus release weekend. It came out on Friday, and it is the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who says it's bad is just wrong and don't respect their opinion, please, because it is so good.
We had a bit of a worry there on Friday, remember, when we were getting reports from others about the delivery date.
So here's what happened. I obviously pre-ordered the game because I'm a massive Pokemon fan. Always have been. I pre-ordered it, a physical copy, for the first time since probably I've been in university. 4th year now, by the way. Because I'm like, I want a physical copy of Legends Arceus. It's supposed to be this big breath of fresh air. We'll get to hockey in a minute. You're going to listen to people. We have control, unless you skip 30 seconds at a time, which you can do. But anyway. So I noticed on the 27th, not until 7 p.m., I have this thing of it's at a sorting facility. So I'm already worried. I'm refreshing this 1 o'clock of the Friday, a.m. Friday keeps going. It's in transit. Now, if you know anything about tracking and stuff, and I've previously worked for a logistics company doing part-time stuff in warehouses and helping my mom with deals with claims, and I've also done stuff to do with pre-calls for delivery. I know in transit doesn't mean anything. I needed to say out for delivery. And the estimated date of delivery was the Friday, as it freaking should have been. If you know anything about games, by the way, the copies have been in warehouses for weeks now. Weeks. People get them early. Weeks they've been ready, these games. I call Pure later, who it's coming through via GameStop, and I'm like, what's going on here? You may get it tomorrow. You may get it Monday. We don't know because they don't deliver on Sundays, apparently. I wake up first thing on Saturday, and I call Pure later again. You're getting it Monday. So I say, do you know what? I don't care anymore. When I get the physical copy, I looked up all the return policies for GameStop. I'm going to get it. I'm going to freaking return it because I want to play this game. I've been looking forward to this game the moment the release trailer came out. Most hyped Pokemon game in years, and I'm not exaggerating. Happily, it all works out. I don't have to do that because my brother's fiance's birthday has just happened, and she wanted to get Legends Arceus, but she's like, I don't want to get it, try and save the money. And I'm like, what? No, that's not going to happen. So we're going to give her my physical copy, and she's going on a business trip to BC soon, so she'll have that.
Wait, does she know though? Does she know?
Yeah, we called her. We called her and my brother last night.
Oh, okay.
And we just chatting
okay.
about, and my mom's like, so it's Scott, my good older brother. Scott has been playing the Pokemon game, and then Scott let it slip, and then we're like, oh, you can have it, and she was really, really happy. So
that's nice.
So
good game.
Nice.
In conclusion,
it all worked out.
It started out with Pokemon as the main focus here. Was good guy Adam's story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's funny. Daniel texted us in the group chat. He's like, hey, Adam, happy Pokemon Day. I hope you're enjoying it because friends of mine are getting it till Tuesday. And I didn't have it yet. And I just freaked out in the chat. And I think Alex went like, Daniel, you just broke Adam. I asked Daniel, who did they ship it with? What are their order statuses? I need to know.
Imagine if you didn't get the game and you had to watch that game last night. Like today's episode just would have been absolute terror. You would have been on an absolute rampage. No question.
Man, I'm going to be in a few moments. We'll open the show talking about the Habs and the Oilers.
Sure. Yeah.
And we'll get to the Evander Kane stuff later. I don't like giving him. First off, I think the broadcasts were disgusting last night about how much they were crediting Evander Kane. I thought they shall be ashamed of themselves, to be honest.
I wasn't sure if Evander Kane scored.
Oh yeah, no, you really. It wasn't like every 5 minutes or like this is his ice time and that. Let's ignore the off ice stuff because he's now on the Canadian team.
Biggest thing I heard.
Play-by-play guys.
Biggest thing I heard. As a reminder, the last time he played was May 12th, 2021.
Professional. Yeah.
In the NHL.
Yeah, in the NHL.
The last time he played a pro game was in the AHL in December.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he shows up, plays McDavid, and he scores. We'll get to Kane later, though. But legit.
Okay.
Disgusting stuff from the broadcast. And I'm willing to put that on a platform that if I put a resume on, I was disgusted by it. It was like, here's Evander Kane. He's playing so well, smile on the faces. Here's the swagger. I think the only person to mention this could go wrong was Kevin Bieksa in passing. But, that's great. But Hockey Day in Canada, Scarborough. Woo! Anyway. Love seeing Michael Bunting, the Scarborough guy. We're going to get to that later.
It's on the east end where you are, Adam.
Oh, it was, yeah. Well, I'm in Pickering. I'm the neighbor, technically. Anyway, I wasn't going to go search out hometown hockey versions of no. Okay. You're going to hear a lot from me to start. I'm sorry, but get over it. It's our show. I'm one of the voices here. Okay. Last night, the Montreal, I love how Alex has now put his hand because he knows. The Montreal Canadiens, they're last in the league. They're disgusting. They've won a single game in 2022. By the way, if broadcasters can't get creative enough, did you know they went to the Cup final last year? Yeah, we know that. Yeah, it was the biggest thing in Canada. Shut up. Remember the Niagara Falls and the CN Tower where Habs Scully? It was great. Yeah, we remember it. Now the team is falling apart. They go Saturday night, their first home game since that win against Philly. Last year. I know that was a couple months ago, but so you know what I mean? Last year.
Yeah.
First game home with the road trip. And you let 6-3 happen. The Oilers humiliate you 6-3 at home without McDavid hitting the score sheet. It's not just that. They've lost in so many ways this year. I used to give this team credit for not giving up. They had a bit of zest. But the game against Anaheim, no response, and you let Zegras pull off the Michigan. There's no response to that. There's no respect there, and Primo gets pulled for like the fourth time in 6 games because they have no one else playing goalie because everyone is freaking hurt. David Savard is out 8 weeks, by the way. You love to see it. You freaking love to see it. You know what I love to see during that game? That's what we're going to get to that a little later because this is the cherry on top. I'm watching this game with my dear mother. Taking a break from playing Legends Arceus. I had joked to her, if they're losing 2-0 at the first intermission, I'm going back to playing Legends Arceus. Second intermission, still watching the game, I was playing Legends Arceus. And my mom's like, Adam, look up. And I got to step away from the mic here. And I see what? I see Zach Cassian clip Samuel Montembeault, who was coming for, no, I think he started the game, or did he get, yeah, I think he was pulled eventually. Clipped by Zach Cassian. Wasn't pushed into the net. Cassian went behind the net. Primo's there with the puck. Clips him. No response. Jeff Petry skates into his face. I don't think he put his hands up. There was no emotion in his eyes. There wasn't. I don't. If a guy takes out your goalie, if he clips your goalie, I want you to get so close you know what he had for breakfast. I want to know what the smell of his cologne. Okay. Kulak didn't do anything. Paling was skating away. No, I didn't like the Corey Perry had to fight Nick Foligno thing in the playoffs, okay? There's a sort of barbarian element to it. But when somebody hits your damn goalie, for the love of anything in this game, you stand up for him. And I think the only reason Petry didn't is because it was a rare occasion of goaltender interference without Petry pushing the guy in for once. Every time. You know that famous clip where I think it's Paul Mieri's getting beat down by Carey Price because he run into him? Because Petry hit him into Price. Every goddamn time. But no, this time we can't do anything, lads. No face wash, no cross-checking. I don't even think every Hab was in the corner. You think the Leafs are soft because they're blowing leads? No, Sheldon Keefe, what an obvious play that was. Oh, they're doing great all of a sudden, yeah. The Montreal Canadiens. And Jeff Petry has had this reputation apparently throughout the league from being a big guy who's kind of soft. He is. He's soft. He should be gone. No exaggeration. Jeff Petry should not be a Montreal Canadien. I don't want to see him play another game. You know what was the worst thing about all this? You know, it's just... The worst part was, not only did you let Evander Kane score his first goal back, not only did you let that happen, Hyman had a pair of goals, love to see it. First game at home isn't even the worst part. In the box, there's Mathieu Perreault, there's David Savard, there's Brendan Gallagher. Your first game back home, and who is there in the box with his cowboy? Carey Price was in the building. Performance in front of him. I just knocked my mic out, slamming my desk. Carey Price was in the building and you pulled that performance off. Back at home, no fans because the government sucks. Still better there aren't more French players probably because, you know, Legault. We're only halfway through the season. Rem Pitlick is the best player on this team. Paul Byron's playing tomorrow. Mathieu Perreault is hurt again for another 4 weeks, because of course he is. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah, it's good.
Get rid of them all. I'm done. I'm so fed up with this team.
I mean, just to start, the Foligno and Perry stuff I think was different, right? Because that was pure accident. I don't think this was pure accident.
No,
Right. Like I think that's the difference here. I saw Ducharme. I saw a quote from Ducharme. I was just looking for it as you were talking there. I don't think like this is the quote from Ducharme after the game last night. I want to see 5 red jerseys go into the corner. I never ask one person to fight, but I want to see 5 reds in the corner.
When I first saw that clip, and Adam, you made me realize this is only halfway through the season for them. There really wasn't any accountability there, where I kind of felt that I guess my first reaction was empty out Laval and let the guys who want to play in the NHL. Because if you think it's a lost season, I don't think that these guys are showing, that word they use, like they're not showing heart right now. And I know that it's been a really, really tough season for them, but they're all vet guys that they didn't show up for Sam Montembeault.
The only one who did was towards the game. I'm sorry, my mic is being very finicky. I apologize. The only one who ended up doing anything about it, not even in the same period, towards the end of the game, was Michael Pezzetta. Because of course it was Michael Pezzetta. Kulak was on the ice. I think he just was there, like, oh, hey, how's it going? I love Brett Kulak. No, he's done. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. It's and the only reason I mentioned Perry in that is just like the element of standing up for the teammate.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. I'm not saying you blow Cassian up from behind. I'm just saying you don't let them walk over your goalies, because if that was Carey Price or Jake Allen, they haven't stood up for Jake Allen. They haven't stood up for their goalies all year. They let Primo, McNiven, they've let them all they've left them out to dry every game. They've Carey Price with his goddamn cowboy hat. He looked great. He's speaking to the media today. We're going to talk about that later because that's massive. But you did that with Carey Price on the ice. Just throw in the towel. Fold. Go and send the Habs to Arizona if you want.
I've watched teams not stand up for their goalies many times. I'm pretty sure I've ranted and raved about them plenty of times. Like you have to. It's the one guy there's absolutely no exception for, that you have to stand up for them when they're down. When they're down in that sense, in what happened last night, I do think it's a little inexcusable. I mean, I'm not a fan of using the word soft in this case, because I don't know what to say. Like, I think the Canadiens are right in the middle of hitting rock bottom. And it looks as if there's a sense of it's what's happening on the ice. It looks like the complete opposite of what we saw in the past few years, where there was a specific identity to the team. And obviously we've talked about it. They've completely lost that. And at the same time, they're also bottom of the league. And I think it's a combination of all these things. It doesn't make it right. It's just when no one absolutely cares. And I'm not saying I do think the players care. I just think there's a sense of like, this season's over and they've lost, like it's just lost. Plus seems like Ducharme also doesn't care. When your coach doesn't care, I don't think you're going to get the same out of your players.
Like, he's honestly like a dead tree, that guy. Ducharme, he doesn't show any emotion. He never had. Like, just, man, get the boys fired up. Like, if I was Dom Ducharme, I would have called a timeout right there, and I would have, in front of everyone, ripped that team. They deserve to lose that game the way they did. It was so frustrating, because at the end of that road trip, they started to give you a bit of hope that maybe they're going to play a little better. And then they come home and they just do that to us. And the Anaheim stuff. And I can't even remember if the Anaheim, I might be wrong. This wasn't the first game. I think the Anaheim game was first at home, but they're just two miserable performances back to back. I don't care. This team is just ripping my soul out at every opportunity. I don't want to watch them play, but for the integrity of the podcast, I do. I don't want to waste my Saturday the few times their games are actually on TV here in the GTA because blackouts are so regional. Things are so dumb. I don't want to waste my Saturday. Be playing Pokemon. I'm a 4-star researcher in Legends Arceus. I'm enjoying it a lot. My Kulava's almost a Typhlosion. Got a Luxray, Staraptor. I'm enjoying it.
I don't know what that means.
And I have to watch the Habs. You don't need to know what it means, Jay. It's fun. Okay. The people who understand that references, you're the best. That ever, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. Pokemon. Should have gotten that reference at least. Just this team.
I got it. Yeah.
Anyway, here's a bit of good news. Carey Price is set to speak to the media today, actually, before their game against Columbus. For the first time, probably since they lost in the finals, I think he's about to speak. This is significant for a few reasons. I think lately a lot of people have been talking about Carey Price's future in the game, or not in the game, but his future with the Habs, how his knee and rehab's been doing, and everyone has been like, when it comes to Carey Price's play, he has to speak to the media to know if he wants to be here. What's been forgotten is Carey Price's mental health, and I think, and we all know that it was the doctors who recommended that Carey not speak to the media until he was ready. So I think besides the rehab and him seem to be on the ice for back-to-back days of full equipment, what's big here is that it shows, I think there's a step in the mental side of it that maybe he's ready because he's speaking to the media. This is going to be must-watch, by the way, I'd say, or much listen to.
Yeah, probably. Like it's been almost 6 months and we haven't heard much from Carey Price. Not that he owes anyone anything, to be honest. I do hope that I always worry, and it has nothing to do with Montreal. I think it has more to do with Canada. Be careful with the questions. Don't be, because I think, and it's been talked about recently. We had the discussion about Justin Falk last episode for a different reason, but the media is not fantastic in this country when it comes to hockey. So let's not try to absolutely throw this man under the bus.
Not to name names, we know there are some reporters in the city of Montreal that are going to, maybe they dig, but if anything, I would like to think that they are going to be very careful and they are going to be like the Habs side of things. You can imagine they're going to send out a note saying, listen, you better be careful, because apparently he won't be answering the questions with Carey, but Kent Hughes will be on the call.
Right.
Which is, that says something. And I think Montreal's PR people, I think, have always, if you ever watch the press conference with Carey, he doesn't speak. He doesn't give too much detail when he talks. But the PR people have always known when Carey's done answering, they move on right away. They've always been really, really good with him. Guys like Arpon Basu, that Eric Engel, well, once Arpon Basu gets to his question, because it takes him 30 seconds to ask it. We love you, Arpon. It's a running joke. Engels is going to be good. John Liu is going to be good, but there are certain guys that I'm worried about. There's a bingo chart going around. It's like Eric Engels asks him about Shea Weber.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. God, Carey looked great with that hat, didn't he? He looked great, didn't he?
Yeah.
He looked great.
I'm looking forward to the update. I think that's what it is. It's an update, and I think that there's going to be great questions there. But it is true that there's always going to be that odd type of take, and I'm not really familiar with too many of the, I guess, like Montreal-based or surrounding areas, like publications that would. Okay, I'll just say like similar to the Toronto Sun, I'll say. Yeah. So I don't think there's going to be as many kind of different takes on things or what kind of questions are going to be thrown out there. So I'm just hopeful to be good. And to have Kent Hughes there is a big step forward. And I think I've used it already twice this podcast episode, but accountability there, showing that he's all in with the team and each player.
I just wish that the Habs were in a different circumstance, that if they did trade Carey, he didn't have to come back to this team. I don't want the last game Carey Price ever plays for the Habs if he's getting traded to be on this squad. I'd rather it be the playoffs and what happened there and how great he was. 924. Still, okay. You know what I was thinking of last night? Sorry, I'll end it here and we can move on. You know what I was thinking about last night? Congratulations, Henrik Lundqvist, because he just got his number retired. That was amazing. Love to see it.
Yeah.
If you don't think Carey Price is a Hall of Famer, he dragged this team to the Cup final. Just take that in.
Did
There
someone,
are no arguments
someone
there.
say that?
Yeah.
No, I was
Are you
thinking to
fighting with
myself.
people again?
No, it wasn't even Twitter thing. It was an argument made in my own mind. Because it's just
Was it another Pokemon trainer that messaged you?
there aren't actually that many Pokemon trainers themselves in the game because it's like an old thing. It's before people lived alongside the Pokemon. Anyway.
Today's episode is brought to you by Pair Networks. If you have a business, you need a website. What's the best way to get a website up and running? Choosing a website hosting service that makes it simple, like Pair Networks. Pair has over 20 years of experience managing the entire digital ecosystem for thousands of online businesses all around the world. Pair makes it easy for you with do-it-yourself website building tools and features, including simple drag and drop page design. And they have guaranteed US-based support technicians ready to help you whenever you need it. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Right now, when you sign up with Pair Networks, you will receive 1 free month of web hosting. See for yourself how easy it is to build your website for free. Visit pair.com/free to get your first month of website hosting for free by using the code QUICKSTART. That's pair.com/free, promo code QUICKSTART, all one word, to get started today.
Okay. See, I don't know.
Gentlemen. Yeah, no, don't worry. Gentlemen, we're halfway through the season, so you know what that means. The 2-on-1 podcast, halfway award show of prestige and honor, acclaim, and whatnot. We're going to go through a few awards here. We're going to go through the MVP, which has its own title that we improvise every time we say it. We have the Norris Trophy, which on this podcast, listen, goes to the most offensive defenseman in the league. We have what we call the Fulton Reed Award, goes to the defensive defenseman of the year, the Vezina for goalie of the year, the Calder for rookie of the year, coach of the year, and we're going to have GM of the year. And at the end, the guys don't know this. I'm going to ask them who they think is going to win the Stanley Cup. We'll go through quickly here because we do have a lot to go through. First off, gentlemen, who is your MVP? Daniel to start. Alex to start.
I mean, for me, it's Connor McDavid. I think you look at the definition of the trophy, and if you pull Connor McDavid from that team over the last 2 years or so, I think they've, outside of these last 2 games where he hasn't scored and they still won, they've won maybe 2 or 3 games when he hasn't scored, and he scored in most of the games. He is quite important to that team.
I am going to go with Alexander Ovechkin because the Capitals are not a great team lately. They have not been. And I'd like to think if they didn't have Alex Ovechkin on their team right now, I don't think they'd be Edmonton bad. But I just think the respect that this guy in his mid-30s and the season he's having, I just really like. I'm an Ovechkin stan. Let's be honest. Daniel, your MVP.
Yes, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. But I am going to choose Jonathan Huberdeau. I know that I've been so high on him this whole year, maybe the last 2 years.
Somebody's been on Alex Baumgartner's Twitter.
But yeah, Alex Baumgartner has really convinced me a lot. Also, shout out for his Carter Verhaeghe article. Excellent article. It didn't say Leafs legend in it, but that's okay. But yeah, for Jonathan Huberdeau, I think that he's just the definition of consistency and of what the Panthers are trying to do this year. They're finally getting out of that idea that they're just the other Florida team there. And I think that they're built to win. They have a lot of consistency there. And Huberdeau's just one of those pillars that they've been keeping on for so long, saying like he is a guy that could be a building block there. And we give all the love for Alex Barkov, but I think it is not the same, I guess, level per se, but like it is kind of like a Leon Draisaitl situation there.
Leon Draisaitl, your first pick in the fantasy draft. Love to see it. Okay. The pick that made us all forget that Nathan MacKinnon existed. All right. How about we go to the best offensive defenseman for our books? I'll start. Cale Makar. Don't need to explain why. He's nasty. Daniel?
I'm a bit on a split here because Cale Makar missed a few games, but he's had the highlight reel goals. He's been consistent when he did play. And then at the same time, Adam Fox, consistent, didn't miss any games. Now he's going to miss some games. So I'm going to choose both of them as the honorable mentions.
No. You got to give it to one.
I'll just say Adam Fox for the sake of because you said Cale Makar.
Go ahead, Alex.
I have Cale Makar written down. I have Adam Fox right behind him, though.
You want to know why the answer is Cale Makar?
Sure.
So, simple reason that in 8 games less, he only has 5 points less than Adam Fox. And this is, again, the purely offensive defenseman. If we just quickly look for Adam Fox on the goal leaders for defensemen, he's at 17th. Oh, that's awkward. It's tied for like 5th. There's Cale Makar at 18, 5 ahead of Roman Josi at 2nd. Fulton Reed trophy for best defensive defenseman. I am saying Victor Hedman because it was too easy to say Jacob Slavin.
I also have Victor Hedman, mainly because I think you look at what Tampa has gone through this year and over the offseason, losing an entire third line, losing multiple players to injury throughout the season, having to play with 4 defensemen one night. And Victor Hedman is by far their best defenseman. And I think he's been outstanding this year from what I have watched.
That game, and he logged 30 minutes in that 4 game, and how he was excited. Didn't have his pregame now because he was so excited. That's what sealed it for me. Daniel.
I have Roman Josi. I think that he's dragging the Predators right now. I think that he's been playing a great two-way game for them. I really thought that defensive core, and it did take quite a bit of a dip after Ryan Ellis was traded, and they didn't really know what their identity was. But despite the contracts, despite what was going on with the team, despite the trades, Roman Josi's been so consistent for them, and he's been a true leader.
The second best captain in national history, to be honest. Shea Weber, how are you? The Vezina Trophy for goaltender of the year, Alex.
Oh, I mean, for me, it's an easy lock-in. It's Igor Shesterkin, who, I'm not the biggest fan of the Rangers defense core outside of Adam Fox and a couple others, but I think he's very much stood on his head when he was in the lineup and very much kept the Rangers afloat.
I'm going to go off the board here.
Ron Gibson.
I'm going to say Tristan Jarry because I think there's just been a contrast between what he's been the last 2 years and then what he's been showing this year. And I think that he's been great. The Penguins didn't really improve defensively. It's still the same core without Cody Ceci, but he's been great. I think that for what we saw at the beginning of the season and then what we saw now where, Malkin's here and there, they're still dealing with what the contracts are going to look like. Who's really being that guy for them right now? And everyone's in and out of the lineup. I think it's Tristan Jarry.
Fair enough. I also went with Shesterkin. You guys know that a goal saved above average is one of my favorite stats, and he is killing it in the overall department there. Again, it's so annoying to go from Lundqvist to Shesterkin. God, the Rangers. How could you? The Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year. Alex, who do you have as the Rook of the Year?
I do have Lucas Raymond as my Calder vote. Not that I have one, but I wish I did. No, I think he's been absolutely on fire. And I think you look at the Detroit Red Wings, not that there's many bright spots, but he has been one of them.
Daniel.
You already know. It's Trevor Zegras. Exciting player. He's rejuvenated the Ducks on offense, and he just, I don't know, he just has that confidence that you'd expect from a 25, 26-year-old in their prime already. And he's someone that he's taken the next step with things. We've talked about it before. Anaheim, they had to really bank on all those draft picks they accumulated, and Trevor Zegras has been leading them.
You guys know I'm a big Moritz Sider guy, but when Zegras pulls the Michigan out on Samuel Montembeault, I gotta. I'm going Trevor Zegras. Yeah. Wow, he's a good player, man. He's such a good player.
I saw the clip last night where he just walked through a team. I don't know who they were playing. The Ottawa Senators, and it was just like, oh my god, this guy does not care at all.
He's so good. Coach of the year. I have one answer here. One for the simple fact of Tampa had been good. Like 17 straight home wins. They haven't lost a regulation game in like a month or something, probably more. Continuing to win lately without Nathan McKinnon. I'm going Jared Bednar. Man's a king.
I am been on this boat from day one of the season. It is John Cooper. The man lost his entire third line, which the entire media praised and said that's the reason they won the cup, which I don't believe is true. But if we're going off media narratives, they're 3 points out of first place in the Atlantic. I really think if John Cooper's never won an award, I very much think he deserves it.
Man, I'll tell you, you and I have been we've both stuck with Bednar and Cooper, you with Cooper, me with Bednar for a couple of years now. Those are our guys. I gotta say that. Daniel, yes, Daniel, please tell me. I feel like I already know who you're going to say.
I think I know who it is.
I don't think you, I think you do. I'm going to go off the board a bit with this one.
Don't you dare say who I think you're going to say.
I'm going to say Bruce Cassidy.
Okay. Wow.
What?
Yes,
Bruce Cassidy?
Yes, I think, again, I'm using the depleted roster narrative again, the injury narrative again, and he's been able to balance out the lineup there. You know, they don't have a true second line center anymore. You know, we talk about Jack Studnicka, talk about Charlie Coyle, the injuries to Nick Foligno, David Pasternak, and they've been able to stay afloat. You know, they're not the best, but they're staying there.
Daniel, I will say I don't think anyone in Boston agrees with you.
I don't want to pick on every single award you've done, Daniel, but I have a problem with every single one except How in the world are you giving it to Bruce Cassidy over Jared Bednar or John Cooper or Brindamore, who lost Dougie Hamilton? It's like, it doesn't matter.
But isn't that usually the narrative of the coach of the year, though? Like,
it's the team that coached the team to be good that you thought was going to be bad. So that's why people are saying Gerard Gallant.
Yeah.
Bruce Cassidy.
Wait, who do you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say Dallas Eakins.
Yeah.
Or Rod Brindamore. Those are my two.
Rod Brindamore would be a good shout, though.
Yeah, but I know. Yeah, but it was that or Dallas Eakins, because the Ducks, but he didn't do anything. We put them status quo in the tier list. I mean, but John Gibson on the mention. And then you would have said like Joe Bouchard, because what a great job he's done in the AHL, and I would have thrown this out the window.
He would have left. Adam.
Without hesitation. Pokemon's been great, guys. Yeah.
That's okay. Before we move on to the next awards, that's actually going to be a storyline I really believe we're going to follow in the offseason, because Dallas Eakins' contract is done. And Dominic Ducharme is probably not going to return next season. So we'll keep that in mind.
Play with my heart.
Daniel, what are you doing with Adam here? It's like
I'm sorry, no, I'm just saying
days
that
in a row where you've almost broken
back episodes where you've been picking on me.
No, sorry, it's an article I read.
And he broke you on Friday. Like, just Daniel's.
I'm sorry, it's too. I didn't take any of the. I didn't. I made a statement before I did the research. That's part of our journalism 101. You gotta look at the facts and the research first. Man,
before we do GM of the year, my buddy's been watching Ted Lasso. I haven't seen it, obviously, but he's just like, have you seen Ted Lasso? I said, no. And he's like, so there's this scene where this reporter went to Ted Lasso, told him he was going to do a story. And he's like, because I like you, I'm going to tell you the source. And he said, are you not supposed to do that? And I told him, That is like the cardinal sin in journalism is giving away your source.
Yeah.
And then he told me, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Ted Lasso, he's like, the guy reported himself and quit. And I was like, there is like no worse thing you can do than give away your source's identity.
Oh my God.
Like legit, you cannot do that.
Sorry, before we move on,
Yeah.
just you guys already know this, but I don't think it was mentioned with David Pagnotta saying it an hour ago.
What?
Oh,
Based on what I said previously about my awards,
what's that?
Roman Yossi will replace Nathan McKinnon in the All-Star game.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah.
cool. I didn't
He
know that
deserves
was a thing. Yeah. He
Very good
does.
for him. Good for that. Sucks that McKinnon's out. That's and it was just a
Yeah.
freak hit. Okay,
Yeah.
GM of the year. I thought there were good candidates, but there were moves that they made where I'm like, you've lost the right to have this. I struggled honestly finding a GM of the year. So by default, I gave it to Julian Breezeball in Tampa. Legit, I did not see a single GM, and I'm like, you deserve it. I was gonna go Bill Zito, but I'm like,
Oh, okay.
you let Joe Quenneville coach a game, so you're out of here. Like I
You're
looked
not
at
gonna like
everyone
that.
and I'm like, no, you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it at all. So Julian Breezeball,
Yeah.
congratulations, you're my GM of the year.
You're not gonna like my answer.
Who did you say, Alex? If it's a certain guy I'm thinking of, I'm not gonna let it fly. Who is it? You know what you want, because it's gonna cause discussion. Daniel, you go first. Just
Okay. So I had an initial choice that same thing as you, Adam. But then I don't know, Bill Guerin. I love the guy, but I really kind of feel that the whole Penguin situation, he's not really commenting on it. I don't know. I didn't really feel that, or with this whole thing with Team USA going on, and you know, it was Stan Bowman, and then it was Bill Guerin, and then they weren't really commenting on anything. I know hockey world's like that. I went with Jarkko Kekalainen. I've mentioned before, like the little moves. He's not really little moves, but the moves he's done, like he's able to maximize the Seth Jones trade. And I've said it before, like Cole Sillinger, for what we've seen this year, has been an absolute steal at 12th overall for that. And then the fact that he's been able to build the team here and there, that they're staying competitive despite the low payroll. You know, Patrick Laine, I know that trade is not really working out, but they still have team control over him. And then I am just convinced that Kent Johnson was a steal of the draft, that he is someone who's going to be amazing for them. I think he could be the potential first line center, and things are just working out for them. I think that they have a lot of trade capital there that will maximize it as well. One of the goalies, maybe one of the defensemen, and they're still going to be competitive. They're still going to be the Oakland Athletics.
Been very smart there. Yeah, great draft. Fleece Chicago for Seth Jones. That's a very, very good shout. And the work the organization has done to honor Matiss Kuzlenix, very good. That's a very good shout out to Daniel.
But
Alex.
he won't win though, because that's not how the NHL GM of the Year award works.
Well, because it's going to be whoever is the final.
Wait, can I guess?
3 of the top 4.
Is it because of a certain player from the East End of Toronto is doing so well for less than $1 million? It's not him.
Is that a Michael Bunting joke?
This is a Michael Bunting joke because we talked about Scarborough.
Okay, so
it's not.
you give it to
Kyle
Doug
Dubas.
Armstrong. I don't know what to say. Who is your GM of the year, Alex? I need to know.
Wait, who
Is it? Kent Hughes?
No, guys, I gave it to Don Waddell.
Oh,
In Carolina, he signed Tony DeAngelo.
I'm well aware, but you asked me to pick the awards. I had to think of it as how the NHL guys. I'm not saying.
It?
Yes, I
This
did.
isn't the NHL award show. It's
It
the
is,
201
it is, it
podcast
is,
award
it
show,
is.
prestige and honor.
I know.
They signed Tony DeAngelo. What are you on about? He's
I
a
knew you-
racist. What was that app he was on that was all about like the Capitol Hill riots?
oh, it was that other.
Party?
I don't
They
remember.
signed him. What are you on about? They signed that man to what they are paying that guy to play for them. What are you talking about? You're going Don Waddell?
Yeah.
Alex, I don't know what to say to you. I have nothing to say. I thought for a second you were gonna, try and laugh at me and you were gonna go like Luke Robitaille or
absolutely
not.
No, Rob Blake.
No,
Rob Blake,
would
and I
not
was
do
just
that.
I was actually gonna go get a drink of water to process what I had just done.
No.
Don would no.
I think it's
No.
like George McPhee. I don't know why.
No.
See, I thought of that, but it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we'll see how Eichel goes because it's not done yet. I had respect for him, but I'm just like, yeah, but they handled Fleury really badly. They gave him away for nothing, so that disqualified them for me. Like this, let's just quickly have a look at the standings and just kind of
Okay.
be like, it's too soon to give it to Hughes, and I'm not saying Hughes should get it, so calm down. You can't give it to Hughes. You can't give it to Alvin. Francis hasn't done anything in Seattle. You can't give it to Z. You just can't give it to Zito. Dubas doesn't want to playoff rounds. Don't do that to me.
But
Don
I don't.
Sweeney, the
Wait,
Bruins don't deserve it
I don't see how winning a playoff round has anything to do with GM of the Year award.
because you haven't accomplished anything.
But that's not the point of the award. The point of the award is over a span of a year.
And in the last year,
That's not how that
listen,
award works, though.
listen. Anyway, well, I'm saying he shouldn't get it. Don Sweeney hasn't done it. Detroit are better, but what does that even mean? You want to give it to the Sabre? No.
No.
No. Montreal, God, no. Carolina, no. I refuse to. The Penguins have just survived. They haven't really done anything to change much. The Rangers, Sater didn't build the team, so no. The Capitals have been, you re-signed Ovechkin. You don't deserve, that's just a common sense award. The Blue Jackets, good shout. The Islanders, no. The Flyers. The Devils, who are at the bottom of the division, they just, man, they keep getting let down. Colorado, they haven't, but all their work in the what have they done this year that's been like, Kemper? Nashville, they didn't do anything. The Blues, they signed Brandon Saad.
They got Puchnevich.
They got, fair enough. That's good. That's fine. No, not Bill Garrett. Dallas, no. Cheval, no. Chicago, no. Arizona, no. Vegas, maybe. The Ducks haven't done anything.
The thing is, the Ducks don't have they don't have a full GM. It's still Jeff Solomon as the interim.
That's true. Yeah, you can't give it to. Yeah, that's not going to work. The Kings, no. They hired the man who built the house. No. Calgary or no. Not the show. The Ken Holland, no. The Canucks fired their guy, and Ron Francis.
I think Ken Holland should get it. I definitely think Ken Holland should get it.
It was like 3 good. I cannot wait for the Oilers to make it to the Final Four, and he's going to win that award. And it's like Evander Kane.
They can't make it to the Final Four.
Or we forgot
Don't have
Brad
the team.
Malone. He got an NHL contract as well with the Oilers.
I don't know what you want me to say to that. Brad Malone. Okay, well, since we're on the Oilers. Yeah, Evander Kane signed. Good job, Edmonton. You have no morals. You should be disgusted with yourself. And yeah, of course, he's going to do well with McDavid. Who wouldn't?
I'd like to say it's full circle now. What I've said 2 episodes ago, where Buffalo was so bad that they were going to get McDavid. I say McEichel, McDavid or Eichel, and they're like, we're going to jump the gun because we need a 30-goal scorer beside him when he gets drafted. And then Evander Kane ends up playing with both of them in his career. It's crazy.
Hate the Arizona Coyotes. I don't know. I'm getting the next segment ready, and I'm just reminded of how dumb the Coyotes are. But no, you're right, Daniel. They're so predictable because Ken Holland's such a hockey dude. It's disgusting. So basically, it's a 1-year deal. It's a bit prorated because of the part in the season. I think he gets full trade protection, which is like, of course he does.
I guess if there's 2 teams bidding for you, you automatically get full no trade clause. I guess that's how it
Washington's
works.
like, hey,
I
we
guess that's
like
how
you.
it works.
So Taylor Gray had the interview. Evander Kane also then talked to the media. At least in the media conference, he didn't really take accountability. He was very much like, I think the only reporter I think really pushed him on subjects was Ryan Rishaug. And the end of it was, Ryan, we don't have time to tell you everything I can do. Like, Evander Kane tried to lighten the mood in the press conference when someone asked him why Edmonton. He's like, for the weather.
Yeah, I bet it was the weather.
So funny,
wow.
Evander.
I think we should bring we should bring Will back on to talk about the weather in Edmonton.
Alex, can you please say that's so funny the last time I heard that joke?
That's so funny. The last time I heard that, I fell off my dinosaur.
I didn't know Western Canada is cold in the winter.
You know what's really funny is
What's that?
no, I shouldn't say that. I'll get in trouble.
Okay.
You can't say that.
Okay.
Send it to you guys after.
Okay.
Something to
Okay.
do with McDavid.
The entire thing, like, of course he scored a goal in the first game. Like I saw, can I pull up this Mark Spector tweet? And you tell me if this is if you agree with me, Adam. I'm just gonna pull this up here real quick. This is Mark Spector's tweet last night or a few hours ago. He wrote the story after the game, and it goes, it's just one game, but an Oilers team that runs 4 lines deep did have a proper look to it, not so top heavy. All respect to the Montreal Canadiens, but I don't know if you, after one game against the team who currently sits last place in the league with a bajillion injuries and a plethora of coaching issues. I don't know if that's you should be taking that much away from that game.
Spector with a reasonable take regarding the Oilers. What's this? Yeah, no,
No, his take is not reasonable.
Wait. Read that again.
It's just one game, but an Oilers team that runs 4 lines deep did have a proper look to it, not so top heavy.
Oh, and then you
Okay.
added.
Then I
the second
added.
part.
I added the second part.
Okay,
yes.
yeah. Let me just.
Okay, I'd like to say I know that we talk about them a lot, but the Leafs right now with the Nylander experiment, that's rolling out very consistent lines. That's the thing rolling out. They're not too top heavy. Not the Oilers. Like Evander Kane is not, for me, that factor there.
I'm just scrolling through because I saw he did retweet the lines. I'm just curious as to how they spread out. Well, that's interesting. They did spread it out like that, but
The Habs have 8 wins.
yeah.
Their best player was wearing a cowboy hat in the luxury boxes, probably thinking to himself, my goodness, what has happened here? Their best defenseman is never going to play hockey again. Their second best defenseman is a pumpkin, a soft pumpkin. Congrats!
Yeah,
You did it! I'm so happy for you. Their goal differential is -70.
Wait, the Oilers or the Canadiens?
Montreal.
Oh, okay. So interesting.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's for that game. You know, Adam, we all love the Habs here, but yeah, to take that
Today.
from yesterday's game is just, I don't know. It's just
I get his point because obviously, that's his job is to be like after. Like it's fair enough. You're not wrong. Yeah, the Oilers congratulate. Yeah, because if you throw McDavid, Puljujärvi, Kane, I don't know if that was the line last night, and it's Draisaitl. Yeah, of course they're going to be deeper. No one is disagreeing with the fact that the Oilers are a better team with them. No one is. Evander Kane's a good player. He's a top line player. No one is disagreeing with that at all. If you just say they're a deeper team, I can't disagree with that because it's fact. Now I still think I haven't looked at their lines lately, but Zach Cassian is still in the lineup. Maybe freaking Josh Archibald gets in there whenever he's healthy. Again, has his own stance on COVID. We hope he's doing well. But here's the other thing with the Oilers. You know what Evander Kane's not going to help with? Goaltending, defense.
media questions.
Yeah, the moment they hit, what was the point Kevin Bieksa made? Yeah, oh great, he'll be great. We're winning and all that. Boopity doopity doopity doo. When you start losing,
Thank you.
is when you see the mettle of your team.
Oh my
And
God.
we saw how well that was going with the Oilers. I'm just not going to go with Evander Kane.
Can we please say right now, though, as much as he is a good player, Evander Kane is not Luke Skywalker. He is not the New Hope.
Man, he's not even comparing him to any major character in the city. He's not Darth Maul. He's not that cool. Darth Maul's fun guy, decent guy,
Okay.
wanted revenge for his brother and all that, good stuff. Like there are some redeeming qualities to Darth Maul.
I don't think I read that.
Vader?
I don't think I watched that part, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah, because you haven't seen
You
Clone
haven't
Wars.
seen-
Watch it.
I'm like, I thought he was gone after episode 1.
No, he
Come on,
wasn't.
Daniel.
He's alive till like between episode 3 and 4.
Oh, that's ruined it for me now.
Daniel, watch the show.
Okay, we're focused on the Oilers right now.
Who's a Star Wars character?
You know that brought me up to because you're wearing a sweater right now. If for those watching, Adam's wearing a great hoodie. Was that Shakti?
It's no, I think it was Redbubble. I got it.
Okay.
It's an Ahsoka Tano styled one. It's got like a tic-tac-toe board in each of the 9 boxes. There's like there's different Ahsoka stuff.
Did they have a Coleman Tray Bar hoodie? I'd buy that.
I'm sure you could find one, Daniel.
Okay, thank you.
But that's how much we care about Evander Kane. We'd rather talk about Star Wars. Congratulations, woo. Yeah.
I'm glad someone said it, like that Kevin Bieksa brought it up, because no one was bringing that up except like we only brought it up on here. I didn't really hear it anywhere else. I'm glad it was finally part of the conversation instead of the entire media just drooling over the Oilers signing Evander Kane.
Is that a better chance for a Canadian team to make the playoffs? Ooh. Come on. Come on. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it is. No, but
you make Scarborough. Let's go, Scarborough.
Is he from Scarborough?
No, but they were in Scarborough. He's from BC.
Who? Yeah, he's from BC.
Oh, okay.
I remember he was a
Scarborough
Vancouver
for
Giants
hockey.
Yeah, no, that I know.
That was like, not promoted very well, to be honest. Like it's part of Toronto, and I did it for like, for me who really I guess us as journalists, we invest a lot on the social media aspects of it, and like the coverage. Like if I didn't watch Hockey Night in Canada, I wouldn't know about it. Like they barely tweeted
Here's the
about
big
it.
Problem too. It's like, oh great, Hockey Day in Canada. Oh, the conference championships are tomorrow for the NFL. Or today now for the NFL. So it's like, cool, but no. Also, that day it was believed that Brady was retiring. Probably not. It looks like we're a bit unsure, but
before
it's kind of like, ooh, Hockey Day in Canada. Ooh, Tom Brady. Sorry, move over.
I just like to say, because we love Tom Brady because he's not love Tom Brady, but we respect Tom Brady. I just like to shout out the Montreal Gazette, by the way.
Oh, the last, yeah.
The last active Montreal Expos draft pick is reportedly set to retire. I love that.
That's funny. That's funny. I think the thing with like this hometown hockey, like whether it's the Hockey Day in Canada or hometown hockey, is that those events, to me, the way I look at them, are very created to be, you have to be there. Like I don't know if they're an absolute, I don't necessarily agree with the idea they're an absolute spectacle to watch on TV. I think they're very much promoting the game in where they're located, whether that's Scarborough, whether that's I don't know, give me another city. Like I think that's what those are for.
Moving on. I don't want to rip him too much here. I feel so bad for Claude Julien. If anyone missed this, apparently he slipped on the ice. He's hurt himself, and he's not going to Beijing with Team Canada. So good for Jeremy Colleton because he just got fired, and now he's like, I'm coaching Team Canada. But I feel so bad for Claude Julien. That's heartbreaking because they couldn't. So the women's team has flown to Beijing, I believe. So the men's team might have been going any day now, and the poor guy misses it. He may be there already.
I think they were doing some team bonding in Switzerland, is what I read. Right? And then I guess from Switzerland, they'd go to.
They're not watching Spider-Man, like our team bonding.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Oh, okay.
We have elite team bonding. I don't know what Team Canada is doing, but we have elite team bonding.
We wish him the best, by the way, to Claude Julien. It's unfortunate. We wish him the best because I know he was looking forward to it.
He's had some rough health issues the last couple of years. Remember in the bubble, he had that. I don't remember exactly. It was some sort of heart issue. I don't know if it was a straight heart attack, and he was going to be back for like Game 7 if it happened. Matt Niskanen breaking Gallagher's jaw. No call. Chris Lane, how you doing, you bastard? Anyway, you talk about team bonding and us as Daniel's graduating, but university students. It's great being at university. It's good at being all that type of stuff. You don't want an NHL team playing there, though. Gentlemen, it was reported by Craig Morgan to start. You can tell Freeman was close on this because he hasn't stopped talking about that Craig Morgan beat him to the story. The Coyotes are working on a deal to play at a 5,000 seat arena. I think this is Arizona State University, who I saw someone joke did not have a Division I team up until a couple of years ago. Remember, we had Chase on to talk about all that. So that was good. Go check out that episode.
Early pandemic days.
So first off, it's going to be less than 5,000 if this goes through because they have to make it suitable for the NHL. I just want to, first off, Brad Marchand had a great tweet saying that if you gave away, 4,500 tickets, then you would finally be full and all that. I just want to say this out loud for anyone who doesn't quite get it. An NHL team, if I sit like this, can you still hear me fine?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
An NHL team is going to be playing at an under 5,000 seat arena. An NHL team is playing at a 5,000 seat arena. The Videotron centers, you love to see it because Arizona is such a great market. Do you know how mad I would be? The Habs, obviously, like many other teams, are suffering because they're not getting all these lack of attendance. How mad is Jeff Molson right now, or Larry Tannenbaum and Rogers and Bell, that they are paying for the Arizona Coyotes to play at a school that they can't use their practice facility because of the NCAA rules? Oh, it's such a joke.
Yeah, it's very. Wait, sorry. Are there people who don't understand this?
You need to really see it black and white that an NHL team is about to play at a university rink. An NHL, a team worth hundreds of millions of dollars because they don't have an arena, they don't have a place to play next year.
I know this was really obscure, but that's why I posted on the 2-1 podcast Instagram when you see, which I also thought was a cool photo too, Joe Sakic as the Nordiques captain shooting on Patrick Waugh when he was in Montreal. I thought that was a pretty cool picture. But again, when we think about other markets that can flourish, and we think about the Coyotes where, talk about chances that they've been given as well, or kind of these opportunities where it's like, sure, yeah, we'll let this do this. Like, you imagine any other team say this, like, we're going to move towards here because we can't find an arena. Like, how many chances has the Coyotes been given?
I don't like, I'd have to double check, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are second division teams in England, in Italy, in Germany, in France, in soccer teams, that get better attendance than that.
I'd like to say that.
How many AHL teams do you think get better attendance than this?
That's a good question.
I'm going to search it up.
Remember, I know on the SDP, there's the mention again. Steve Dangle was going through CHL teams, and he looked at the CHL, and it wasn't even the Canadian Hockey. It was the Central Hockey League, and they were getting better numbers than 5,000. Come on.
Go, Alex.
So what's the threshold? Sorry, Daniel. What's the threshold? 5,000? How many seats are they going to have?
I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but as of right now, it's 5,000.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 12 AHL teams with less average attendance. The Tucson Roadrunners, who are their AHL affiliate in 2019-20, the last season without COVID. Well, there was COVID, but most of it was without it. Has an average attendance of 4,000. 1,000 less.
They get it in Arizona now. That's hilarious.
Sorry, Daniel. What were you going to say?
Oh, no problem. I was just wondering that I think it'd be different in a Toronto situation because they'd go back to Maple Leaf Gardens, but the updated Mattamy Athletic Center where less seating. Like, how would you feel about that if the Leafs had to play there? I know there's a historical reason
for what reason? Because we can't afford an arena.
Yeah,
I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed. I'd try to get season tickets because that's awesome, but I would be embarrassed. Like, how do you look at this? I think from every single person's aspect, from the fan all the way to Gary Bettman, who runs this ship. How are you not embarrassed?
Here's what's interesting, right? Is first off, they're going to be full every game. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's going to be cool. That's going to be full of college students. Woo, go Arizona. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. It'll be great. Matthews comes to town for a Leafs game. It's going to be great. It could be fun. It's going to be great. But it is still who wants to play there? How do you sell to someone, hey there, this is where we don't even have facility set up yet, and we're going to have to wait for this new arena that we don't even know if it's happening yet in Tempe to show up. I want to know Gary Bettman's thinking as to how you still see a benefit in being in this market.
That's my biggest issue. You said it. We don't even know if they have the arena in Tempe yet. You've given us the fact that they could play here for the next 3 to 4 years, bleeding money. This is in no way profitable, anywhere close to it for an NHL team. And you don't even know if they're going to have that arena. Personally, I could live with the fact that if they're going to have an arena in 3 to 4 years in a better location with a better system in terms of making money, I could live with the next 3 to 4 years. But the fact that this was released first without any indication, the last indication of this arena we heard of is that the city council is not interested. The vote is leaning towards no, then it's leaning towards yes. So for this, the timeline of this story to continue with going from no, that we put city council is not very interested in this, to now they're going to play the next 3 to 4 years with maybe 5,000 fans, is concerning in every single aspect, especially from a business standpoint. There's no if I'm any of the top 6 owners in the NHL, I would be appalled. I'd be concerned. I'd be on the phone with Gary Bettman trying to understand why they're playing for the next 3 to 4 years in a maximum 5,000 person facility. Like, that's embarrassing.
You know, that meme where it's like, I offered this and this is what I received back. You know, like that TikTok thing, right? Where the guy's doing like that with his hands. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, like, on the right side of what you are dealing with, what you're giving away, it's all these problems with the arena, with fans not wanting to come, with this, perpetual rebuild that they're kind of have. And then on the other side, it's just Kachina jerseys.
To continue, we don't have a place to play, guys. We're late on our attack. Kachina jersey? No.
It's like, not only are we bringing it back, like, do you remember that? It's like, we're bringing it back. And then this year where it's like, we might have an arena, but listen, we're bringing back the white version of the Kachina jersey. And they had Louis Eriksson to model it.
Plus their social media team, they try, but it's just like, what can you do when you have, this bottomless crap of a team to deal with? You know what I mean? Oh, it just makes you so angry. Okay. We're going to skip the new segment idea we have. The how cheap is Alex thing, to try and see what he would actually give up.
I was so excited.
It's all right.
We'll do it Wednesday.
We will do it Wednesday.
Fine.
Also, we should probably mention Evander Kane. The league didn't find any sufficient evidence to go on their investigation with him. It's not going to influence Evander Kane's grievance with the Sharks, though, because I don't know how this league works, to be honest with you.
Can I just say I'm extremely surprised by that? Like, genuinely. Because, I think we had this discussion when it first happened. The league, when it comes to internal affairs, they're not perfect, but they're great at either hiding it or making sure that if they want money off the books, it will be done. It will be done. And for them to screw up is so surprising.
So what would happen though if they're like what's going to happen now with that? Like, where the Sharks still have to pay him, or they still have cause for terminating his contract?
They're working on it, right?
They're working on it.
Not a great time for him, because it looks like the PA have finally said later dawn of fear. That got lost in the shuffle to this weekend.
Did it? I didn't even notice that. Okay. Thank you for letting me know.
Let me find this quickly. Oh, do you know what? Hold on. Make sure. Let me just give me a second. I want to make sure I didn't mix this up with someone else. Hold on. After careful consideration. I did think I got this mixed up. So I saw it, and I saw players, and I was like, oh, the Players Association. Yeah. Excuse the dog. And no, it was the PHF getting rid of their head dog.
Yes.
which was interesting. Feels like that happens every couple of years, to be honest with you. But no, it wasn't Donald. I'm an idiot. I knew it wasn't Donald Figueroa. Even though I was cleaning out my camera for my notes, I'm like, oh yeah, the PHF stuff. No, but he should be gone. But they're still in disarray because that is still good. There's still been whispers. Freeman's mentioned here and there about succession there, but topic for another day. Okay, we'll talk about the Leafs and then we'll tackle the rest of the highlight stuff to do with 32 Thoughts. But first, to talk about that, the Leafs are aggressively pursuing, and this is from 32 Thoughts as well. Segment Hockey Night. Hockey Day in Canada. Leafs are aggressively pursuing Barrie Colts goaltender Mac Guzda. Sounds like Guzma from Pokemon Sun and Moon. There's your reference.
I read it as Radic Gudis last night. I don't know. I was pretty tired.
But other teams are interested in interest as well. The Penguins, the Rangers, and Predators are all considered front runners. Also, the Isles, Ducks, and Canes are interested in him as well. And he's from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Wow.
For those of you interested out there, I don't know much about this kid, but hey, whoever that kid, I don't remember who he played for, but he was this wicked goal scorer the Leafs signed in like the OHL. Never made it, but it's another example of that. See what you can get out of the guy. There's a bit of a ticket to see if anything.
I just remember the NCAA guys, the Brian Burke NCAA guys, but I don't really remember the OHL guys.
Anyway.
The overages are always interesting.
Adam Brooks, shout out Adam Brooks.
Yeah.
Indeed. Maybe he'll replace Peter Mrazek because apparently, here's what I don't. He was in net right last night, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So Peter Mrazek will be a summer conversation. Apparently, there are teams who are interested in Peter Mrazek, which he's played like 5 games in the past year. Why?
And he has not looked. He's looked good for like one of them this year for the Leafs, and it was against the Islanders.
Who cares? Hutchinson looked good against.
So this is reminding me, like, I don't know how Toronto's being able to do this, but the Raptors are also getting interest for Goran Dragic, who the guy's on leave, and they found him at a Miami Heat game.
Like, come on.
Like, seriously.
I don't know. Here's the team I think might be interested in Peter Mrazek, and it's approximately one team. The Arizona Coyotes, because they need a goalie, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Not Arizona. Well, they're keeping Milka. You know who need a goalie more?
Yes, I do.
The Buffalo Sabres.
Oh, they say Montreal.
I mean, if you want him, I wouldn't take him. My personal advice to Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon, if you're listening.
It's a summer thing, Daniel. We're still going to have Price and Allen.
So is it?
Ain't it, Chief?
Okay. So Malcolm Subban in a second.
I'll take Malcolm Subban. I'll take Malcolm Subban straight up. Anything, please.
That's like, that was the Robin Leonard trade. It's like Malcolm Subban and like a second and a fourth.
I'm sure Petr Mrazek's a really nice guy. He's from the Czech Republic.
Why did you replace the blue pads? So that really bothered me this year. I love that at the preseason where like finally not just like the full white pads and then I don't know, change it up.
This ain't it, Chief.
The Leafs are also, by the way, one of a few teams interested in Josh Manson. Naturally, they didn't name any other teams last night because it's Hockey Night in Canada. And of course, they wanted to get up Leafs Twitter. They knew what they were doing, especially with all the freaking noise. Like, am I the only one confused as to why there's so much going on with Manson and Lindholm? Like, I get their UFAs. If you're the Ducks, go for a run. What do you do? Anyway, conversation for another day. If Josh Manson becomes a Leaf, my goodness, Leafs Twitter can finally shut up for the first time in 3 years about Josh Manson. It would be so funny.
For me, it makes sense because at this point, the Ducks have a lot of cap, so they could help the Leafs out with that. They could retain 50%.
Lindgren. Sorry, go on.
And yeah, I don't know. Right hand shot. If it was last year, I'd be like, absolutely not. Like that guy is a shell of his former self. But this year, he's been able to stay relatively healthy. He's back playing in the top 4. So if the Ducks decide they don't want to re-sign him, then I think that'd be perfect because they have so many of these young guys coming up because for one example I have, and I'll keep it short, but Axel Anderson is a guy that they have there that he plays the similar style. He's a right-hand shot and he's been ready to be called up.
Yo, I have never been more right about anything in my life than how dumb the Bruins were to get Andre Kasha.
Yeah.
If you talk about
pretty
Axel
bad.
Anderson,
Yeah.
I'll never forget that
Yeah.
freaking trade. Idiots.
They also got
Absolute
Jacob
idiots.
Perreault out of it, the Ducks.
Oh, the Bruin. Oh, yeah, God. Hey, it's just weird. But talked about games themselves. I have daily face off here because there's something very interesting going on in Toronto. The guys kind of talked about it a little earlier. Spread the love. Here are some of the lines that's been around. Top line of Matthews, Kasha, Bunting. Second line, Mikheyev, Tavares, Mitchell Marner. Heard of him. Third line of Kampf, Kerfoot, Nylander. And then Simmons, Betson, Engvist, whatever. They're spreading the boys out.
Keith's doing some tests.
Circa 2016 Penguins.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Yeah, no, that's a good. That's
That's a
fair.
good one.
It's very. Well, I don't think they ever had wingers that are like, "Hey, I got Marner." Like Phil's not as good as Nylander, I'd say, but it's still, it was more down than even if. No, shut up.
I don't know about that, about Phil.
I don't know. It's like
At
the
the,
Nylander
ti-
line.
at the time,
Yeah.
at the time, he was still putting up over a point per game.
Nylander could put up 90 points on Pittsburgh on that power play, 100%.
So is the
Sure.
Nylander line the new HBK line?
Okay. Daniel,
Yes.
let them win a playoff round before you compare them
Daniel,
to most.
please.
I'm sorry. I'm playing at Edmonton
do
Oilers
this.
media
I
right
can't
now.
do
I'm
it
sorry.
anymore. I don't want to hear about any comparisons. Let this team just win.
I just
something.
want one time a wrestler to promote one of the Leafs lines.
Man.
Is that too much to ask?
Did Shawn Michael give a do you care? You think
He was
just
there,
lost his
right?
hockey?
Yeah, he was there.
He was
and
at a
then
game,
he
but
he had a really he had a
lost
video.
hockey sense.
Yeah.
No, he has not watched hockey since.
'Cause
Would be my guess.
I think he's no, I think he's like a Lightning fan. Oh no, that's not him. That's Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's
Yeah,
actually a
Hulk
Lightning
Hogan.
fan.
Yeah.
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 So was so are Edge and Christian.
Wait, why
Are
can't
they?
they promote the Leafs? They're
Wait,
from
are
Toronto.
they really?
Yeah,
No,
they're from
Edge-
Toronto.
They were Leafs fans, but they've listened. I used to listen to their podcast, and they were all about the Lightning.
Oh no,
Yeah,
they're local boys.
from Orangeville. Yeah.
I can live with it.
Mhm.
No, I think it's interesting that they did this. Also, I'd like to point out that Ilya Mikheyev is playing in the top six.
He's
What
not
I've
getting
been,
goals and
a-
good
what
things
I have
happen.
been, pardon?
You score some goals and good things happen.
It's what I've been asking for a couple of years, and finally happy it's done. But I think overall, like just the idea of splitting those three guys in particular up, no, it's just never been done on this team. Like usually, it's been Matthews and Nylander to start, and then Marner was kind of on his own with JVR and Bozak, and then it became Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, Marner, and then it obviously switched when Keefe took over, but we've never seen them separated, and I think it gives the team a little more depth down the lineup. I know Keefe, like I think halfway through the game last night, it's like, yeah, this isn't happening anymore, and kind of switched back to the regular line, but I do think it's an option when needed.
Well, that's it. It's my mic is swinging away
Oh.
from me. That was scary. It's getting loose on the stand. That's why. Well, just think of it like this: they were losing. If Campbell's in net, does that game go the same way? No. But they were fought. They needed the offense. It's kind of like you'd like to separate Draisaitl and McDavid when you're losing by 2 in the third. You ride them.
Right.
Same
And
Malkin Crosby situation. Like earlier in their career, that always happened. That they were down, and I know it's not the same, but this happened before where it was Malkin, Crosby, Jordan Stahl, all in the same line.
wow. I will say the biggest thing from last night's game, they did come back from a lead.
Mm-hmm.
It was I'm like, wow, that's what it feels like to come back from a lead. It was interesting, I haven't felt that for some time.
Felt that since what, game 4 against Columbus?
I'm not sure of the date. I try not to remember the dark days.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
I try not to remember the dark days. I'm sure in like 3 years, you will not want to remember the season. I know you will. I try not to
Man,
remember.
I'm not over 17, 18. You think I'm over this?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I just, they came back from a lead and I was kind of happy. I want to point out something from the Anaheim game though. I am still a huge believer that John Gibson is a hell of a goalie.
Are there people who say otherwise?
No,
Not on this podcast.
No. I just think the attention he's gotten has died off a little bit.
I'm acknowledging your point. I know you said the dying off.
Yeah.
Daniel, what did you say on this podcast?
I said no one
On this podcast.
no one podcast doubts John Gibson.
Trying to slander me again. I'm
No.
like, Daniel, are we going for round 3?
We're not.
No, I think like you remember a few years ago when Anaheim were like decent in the playoffs, John Gibson got a lot of attention, and then as they had to go through this weird retool / rebuild, the attention to John Gibson kind of faded away because I don't think he was performing up to the ability that he was being because the team in front of him was not great. I just think the way he still plays that game, I'm like, wow, that's John Gibson.
It's only been Dmitry Filipovich saying poor John Gibson. You want a guy who gives proper attention to some of the better players in the States that we don't talk about too much? Dmitry Filipovich.
I love
Guy
that
puts these great things together from Makar, Philip Forsberg too. Dmitry Filipovich, for so many reasons, is such a great follow on Twitter. I want to mention that.
Oh man, his
anything
podcast
else?
so good.
It is. I'm not obviously a big guy of listening to people talk about analytics, but he's still pretty entertaining to listen to. Anything else on Toronto you want to mention before we head to 32 thoughts right now?
Let in less than 4 goals per game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to say much about a game in January.
Yeah.
Is the thing, especially for this team.
If you're winning.
Yeah, that's what I mean when you're winning. Like
if you're
when
not
you have
first,
when you have a solidified playoff spot, essentially. It's just what am I supposed to take from a game in January it's hard.
Okay. Note from 32 Thoughts. Friedman said that a number of Canucks forwards outside of JT Miller are being discussed, aka other teams are interested. It doesn't include Patterson or Horvat. Connor Garland's one of the big names. The Rangers, Boston, and Calgary are interested, and New Jersey is in there too. If you think of Connor Garland, my goodness, do all those teams, aka Calgary, Rangers, Boston, all just fit the mold that bastards in? Isn't it funny that Jim Benning gave up? Garland's good, but they just made that big trade to bring him in and gave him an extension.
Yeah, and I mean, like I think it's hard for me to say that was a bad move, in particular with Garland. He's a good player, man. Like we saw it last year in Arizona for a team that, pardon?
Lots of swagger on him.
Yeah, like it's just hard for me to look back on that. Like I don't necessarily think Garland is a guy they should be trading. Like I don't. It depends on the direction they want to go. Like they have a pretty good top 6, but the problem is because their defense isn't as strong, you're gonna have to give up from somewhere. And maybe losing a top 6 forward to replenish that D might have to be done. And again, I'm surprised Brock Besser's name was not brought up.
I was surprised there too. Yeah. Connor Garland, it was weird to me when I saw his name in trade discussions because his age, like I guess his trajectory of how he's been the last few years, I really thought that it was going to fit the mold of what the Canucks are trying to build with the young guys there. And to see him there, it's just maybe he'll get something out of value there. But I always expected a JT Miller to trade rumor to really kind of dominate everything right now.
Moving on. Where else shall we go? But it looks like Horvat won the Civil War. That was apparently going on. Two more things. Do you want to go Vancouver or do we want to go to Anaheim? Of course we're going to go Anaheim, guys. Come on. Pat Verbeek, we've known as one of the guys in the running for the GM job. Apparently they're closing in on it. Freeman mentioned. Pat Verbeek, is he a Hall of Famer? Is he not? Anyway, it's going to be nice to see. It's interesting because I think Matthew Darche is in there. Can you imagine if Vancouver, Anaheim, Montreal all go through and Matthew Darche doesn't get a job? And if Martin Manning Jr. is the GM and you kept it from Montreal, I will come for you, Anaheim.
Is Steve Yzerman just going to be creating general managers for the foreseeable future?
Of course.
This will be
GM factory.
He will be a GM factory.
Nikita Kucherov, while he's been injured, is actually taking finance lessons.
He's been Steve Yzerman's just been teaching general manager classes.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna see Nikita Kucherov every draft being the one who announced the draft picks now.
Exactly.
He's slobber on the number one. What a loser, cheating bastards. We can also finish off talk about weird note. Probably should have a bit of a flat way to end the episode. No offense to the Panthers here, who are really good, very good, really good team. We know that Florida are going to be in on a lot of players, trying to make some big trades to make their team better. You know, they're obviously one of the big players in the East. Owen Tippett seems to, the former Mississauga Steelhead, seems to be center stage when it comes to any of their trade talks. So basically, what I hear from that is it's going to be Tippett and a third for Ben Sherratt.
Wow, really?
I'm doing a bit here.
Okay. You know who I bet would really love Owen Tippett?
Boston?
The Arizona Coyotes.
Hey.
Why?
Well, I mean, former first round pick kind of fits the description of what they're looking for in Jacob Chikrin trade.
Controllable asset.
So what? What if it was like Lawson Krause, Tippett, and then a first, and then something else?
Lawson Krause.
Lawson Krause is on the Coyotes.
He was drafted by Florida.
I knew that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
Go.
I was just thinking of who's a first round, but yeah, you're right. Because obviously they don't want to give up. They don't want to give up Knight or Lundell. I'm trying to think what else they have. Epidemi's a second rounder, I think. No, that could work. Or Ben Sherratt.
Yeah.
Or Ben Sherratt.
Sure, Ben Sherratt.
You avoid saying his name, Alex.
I just said Ben Sherratt.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, Ben Sherratt.
But I always kind of feel with Florida, like, don't they have already like a Mackenzie? Like, and they have Mackenzie Weegar.
Yeah, but he's he's
Weegar's a defensive guy. Jacob Chikrin.
Yeah, but he's
no. I'm talking about Ben Sherratt and Mackenzie Weegar.
Comparison.
Sorry, what are we talking about here?
Mackenzie Weegar. Okay, Weegar is not just a defensive defense. What are you talking about? His advanced numbers. He's like a better puck mover than Ekblad.
No. I'm saying, like, why would they get Ben?
We're trying to have.
I'm trying to say, why would Florida get Ben Sherratt if they have like someone already like Mackenzie Weegar?
Because why? Okay. Simple as this. Who do you want going into a scrum? Ben Sherratt or Mackenzie Weegar? You want Sherratt there. Not to mention, again, it's Daniel. Why do you keep punching?
I'm sorry. It's not. It's by accident. It's actually by accident.
I'm trying to do a bit, and you're making sense of it.
It's by accident. No. I'm sorry. I won't make sense anymore.
Why do you give up? Why did Tampa need to go get David Savard? Because they could. They want to be over the top, and I think if you're the Panthers, you want to be over the top.
Okay.
Is the way I would look at it, good sir.
Yeah. I support you.
But do you support Ben Sherratt? I feel like this entire podcast is anti Ben Sherratt.
No, I'm not anti Ben Sherratt. I'm anti saying Ben Sherratt is a needle mover.
I just dropped something. Alex, I don't think you would trade Neves, Amirov, and a first for Chikrin, would you?
No, I definitely would.
What do you mean? We'll find out next episode on how cheap.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? That fits the package of what they want.
First and Neves for Jacob Chikrin.
I don't see why not. Last episode, did you or did you not tell me that if a player like Jacob Chikrin is available, you should go after him?
Oh, no, I thought you were saying you wouldn't, and I'm like,
no, I would.
Okay, yeah, good.
I mean, that's a similar package to like Jake Muzzin, to be honest.
No, it's not.
I mean,
no, it's not.
Like Matthew Nyes is like a Carl Gunstrom.
No, it's not. No, it's
okay.
Not. Then I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that.
I mean, like Amirov is like the more upside there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one, Daniel. I don't think that's a comparable. I think Amirov and what do you mean?
I don't think if I'm Arizona, I don't take that.
Well, there's probably better packages available, but it fits the description of what they're asking for.
Liljegren and Amirov in the first.
But I don't think they want Liljegren.
Yeah, but if they did, young defenseman.
I would rather them take. I think they'd rather have Matthew Nyes over Timothy Liljegren.
Well,
I don't like. I think 100%.
I want both.
Well, no. Like I didn't. That's how it
What was the
works.
original? So it was Nyes, Amirov,
Nyes and
and first.
Amirov in first. I think Nyes and Amirov are better than Sean Dursey and
Brown Bracco in the second.
And Carl Grundstrom?
and Carl Grundstrom for
Okay,
sure.
okay.
For sure.
Okay. Well, that's everything. Next episode, we'll continue to ask Alex, what's the value of a player? Would you trade Matthews and Marner for McDavid? You're Toronto. Come
Matthews
on.
and Marner?
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
Alexander. Alexander.
I'll stand by that one.
You're saying no, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Can we make that the clip, the preview, and just to get reaction? You would not trade Matthews and Marner for the best player in the National Hockey League.
Correct.
Daniel, can you please do the outro? I'm too appalled.
Well, guys, it's been fun. Thanks again for listening to the 2-on-1 podcast. Check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. What else are we on? Spotify, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. Got that there. Be sure to check out Adam's YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Alex's work right now with the CEBL. We've been liking it so far. My stuff for CGRU. And before we go, thank you again, Voice Ed, for being an excellent platform. And we will see you guys Wednesday when we go back to How Cheap is Alex bit.
Trade Petry.